Hello Internet, this is Kawa. Welcome back to Exploring the ASCII Dungeon. Today we are playing Rogue Rage, which is going to play with a lot of things very quickly. First off, you should note that this is a game within the T engine, which allows for non-console, very different effects from a normal ASCII. Among other things, you might notice the gradients that are happening within tiles in terms of their background colors. The other thing you'll notice, this isn't your normal rectangular grid. This is a hexagonal grid game, which means at every given tile I have 6 tiles that I can move to, like so. There, sorry. As well as up and down. So this is controlled with basically 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, 9 on my number pad. I'm sure you could use VI keys as well, but I don't play with VI keys. So, anyways, Rogue Rage plays with tactics and... Let me see if I can actually stay on this road properly. There we go. Various one-hit kill ideas and so on. We have lots of options for where to go next, including up here, the Daydream Forest, as well as down here, the Caves of Dusk, and over here, the Night King's Halls. I think I will take on the Caves of Dusk to start. So, from what I understand, this is enemies generally are one hit to kill sort of game. And as we progress in the game, we will gain different abilities called stances. And different stances will give us different effects. And I am quite terrible at this game. Let's try that again. Let's go to the same place and play with those stances a bit more. From what I understand, rogue stance there we go. Increases rage quite a bit, whereas temple stance increases life but lowers rage, and at high rage other awesome things can happen. So I want to stay, as far as I currently understand it, in temple range when I need health, and in rogue rage otherwise, especially during combat. Like so. My rage is almost at full. And here in rage mode, I do some very crazy things and changes the color scheme massively, and all these particle effects happen and all of these dancing things happen. It's ASCII, but there's animations almost as if it were graphical, which is interesting. Definitely not your typical roguelike motion, I guess you could say. I'm not gonna lie, I have not always been the biggest fan of the, how shall I say, the T-engine model of ASCII. I find the sudden animations attached to ASCII occasionally mildly disorienting. Like, are you trying to be a console game or are you not trying to be? Is there really any improvement made by suddenly being ASCII instead? I'm not entirely sure. But this is a rather interesting way because this game could not really happen in the traditional console because the console assumes rectangular grids. There's no good way to implement non-rectangular gridding in something like libtcod or anything like that. Whereas the T-engine seems really suited for that sort of thing. So maybe it works out. Maybe it works out more than I'm giving it credit for. Anyway, we have a lot of the classics going on here. We definitely have the classic one color for one member of a type going on. Nothing like Caves of Cud or Brogue happening here, other than when walls get bloody. Certainly a lot of these sort of pop-ups in various colors. I wish that kill message was at least thematically something other than bright magenta. I mean, really? But that's okay. I do love how washed out and strange things look in rage mode, because that seems appropriate. Nothing should quite make sense when you are in a mild berserker rage. Other games experiment with that. If I remember correctly, Crawl also at least minorly plays with what your vision looks like while raging. But I don't think anyone's done it quite as extensively as this game. Then again, berserking is half the point. Only half, the rest is stances. And the hex. The rest is stances in the hex grid, so maybe it's only a third of the point. Anyway, certainly a very different style of game. Certainly the hex grid adds a very different layer to combat than we're used to. And within each dungeon, yeah, there's thematic sense. There's black and blue consistently in both the walls and there's the rage mode. Come here. Both in terms of the monster choices and the wall choices. And the gray flooring works with that. As well as one thing the T-engine does do pretty well is the fact that of these rather nice line of sight lighting effects, which I appreciate quite a bit. I'd like to heal, please. There we go. There we go. Whew, lots of monsters all of a sudden. Maybe I can get... Uh-oh. That's not good. should not try to risk it too badly. There's rage. Oh goodness. Am I immortal in rage mode? Is that a thing? Anyway, I'm so close to dying. Let's not do that? Have I made a terrible mistake? I have no inventory. Okay, good. I can get out. Oh man, that's nerve-wracking. How can I heal? Can I heal? Save game, change stance, temple, rogue, shadow, death, chaos. There is a cheat heal, but I don't feel like using it. I can't go back to the temple. I could try entering another area, but there's no guarantee that it'd be any safer. Of course, it probably won't be safer. Okay, if I run a little bit, I might be capable of at least some keeping myself aliveness. Okay, 13, 17. Slowly gaining health. 15, 19, 23, 27. Okay. I think I will manage to survive, albeit just barely. How nerve-wracking. I don't always play my best while LPing. Just trying to commentate and play simultaneously is never easy or fun, but I try not to completely embarrass myself most of the time. I hope I succeed. I live in hope. Of course, the fact that I'm playing sort of first impression style where every experience is new to me probably doesn't really help much. Okay. Whew, boy. It's so unpredictable, but it is pretty fun to watch myself just bounce around, because I guess you can die while raging. Anyway, let's give it one more shot and try a different area this time, just to compare and contrast different areas' color schemes. We've already seen the temple in this overworld view. Let's try the Night King's halls, just to give it a shot. This is much more of the classic color scheme we're used to. White walls, black floors, large variety of monsters, good amount of... Uh-oh, that doesn't seem good. I'm probably gonna die soon. Okay. Lots of tiny connected rooms, dark floors, white walls. Yeah. Let me see. Nadir, I am zero, I am nothingness. Do not look at me, for I am empty and ashamed. I feed on the pain of others and grow strong. Drains health and regens. No special. Fascinating. I didn't even realize there was small, bits of flavor text with every monster choice. But I guess that makes sense. Let's do that again. I'm vile and putrid. None can bear my horrible presence. Everyone hates me. So yeah, different areas have different color schemes. Hex grids are interesting but difficult for me to navigate. Though I get used to it over time. We'll play even further with this concept of how shall I say? Non-rectangular grids in the future, but and every area is thematically different and interesting, which is always, well, thematically different and interesting. We've looked at the unique capabilities of the T engine. We've looked at the concept of, say, bleaching out the color scheme. We've looked at, well, all sorts of things really in the time that we've already allotted. Individually themed areas. We'll be looking deeper into this, but not definitely not your average roguelike implementation here, and I apologize for being so terrible at this game. There's a reason I haven't won any roguelikes yet, and it's not just because I've never saved scummed, I think. Probably. But that's okay. I think we've seen quite enough of me horribly failing at this game, and we've seen a couple of different subversions and different ways that Rogue Rage plays with the standard roguelike norm, and the ways that the T engine allows for some interesting effects. So I think I'm gonna call it here for this episode. Thanks once again for watching, and I will see you next time.